These postings are very, very strange. Who the fuck does this? Why are there so many goddamn Minecraft voiceover jobs? I didn't know this was a thing. Hey, Brian!
Yeah.
Oh dear God.
What?
Get out. No, seriously, you need to stop doing that. It's freaking me out.
But these voices are fun.
You know what? At least the zombie voice is not as weird as the villager voice. It's like... Hold up. They want fire and cactus? I think it sounds like... It's reminding me of when I fall in fire.
But do they want the creeper sound?
I hate that sound. I will never not react to that sound.
And here's another one.
That's really fucking good.
Which is creepier? The creeper or this?
That is a really good guess, actually.
Minecraft, really? Minecraft sucks. Like, what are you, 5? Go play with some Legos, you fucking nerd.
It's not about Legos. It's a way of life. God damn it, Dorito. Why must you spoil my joy? Hold up. Hold the fuck up. Now they're asking for pictures. Nope.
Guys, just say no to all Minecraft voiceover jobs.
Sage advice from the guy who's been around the sun as many times as Zamoody has. God damn, that guy is old. But the takeaway here is, even if the job looks fun, be wary of sketchy job postings. Fuck, it's podcast time, and I still have to do my makeup. Why do I do this shit last minute? Hey, Brian, can you help me out with this?
Yeah.
All right, just go over the podcast hosts and what it's called, you know.
It's time for Cold Read the Podcast, a podcast by voice actors for voice actors, featuring Zamoody, The Road to Eldurrino, Renara Hawke, and PrincessPashley. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, let's start that over. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here either live, watching on YouTube, or anywhere where you can find your podcast. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast. That wonderful little Minecraft-centric intro was done by the lovely Princess Pashley, who I'm sure we will talk about your current addiction if anybody's wondering what that is.
Current or
Ongoing.
continuing?
Absolutely. But yeah, welcome everybody. We also have a guest that we're going to talk to you here about in just a couple minutes as soon as we do our check-in. We have EdwardsabaVO, which looks like I may have actually misspelled the name over there, but I'll double check as we're going through. Until then, normally I check in with Renara, but there is no Renara. Uh-oh. So Renara is currently on, what is it called? On holiday, I believe is the right word.
That's what they would say.
It's her birthday.
It was her birthday, so this is like a birthday week, and she's spending time with her family, and we hope the best for Renara. We hope she's getting some good time off and some good rest.
Yeah.
So I will check in next with you, Pash. Pash, how has your week been?
It's it was stressful because I was interviewing interns for the fall, and like this is my first time out. Like I want to hire the right people. I did a lot of like phone calls and posting to Handshake and other university sites. But I have 3 interns, so like my hiring is done and complete. I've done my job. And we were doing a lot of preparation for our founder to come in next week. She's a former congresswoman, and she likes things just so. And so that was stressful. And I've been trying to get a webcam to the office all last week. And we've had Amazon deliver so many things there, like during my time there. And the first time they tried to deliver there, USPS said invalid address. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Amazon doesn't deliver unless it's a validated address. So
Yeah.
USPS, you're wrong. Anyway, and apparently it delivered on Friday, and I don't know. It's probably stolen at this point because
It was like left outside or something.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's the problem with the office, but we'll see. I'm gonna bring in this webcam just as a backup.
Yeah, it's not like
'Cause
you don't have
my-
some extras, right?
At least one or two.
Nice.
So anyway, here we are.
And you know, and as mentioned, obviously I've been watching your streams. Not to sound creepy, and you've been very, very much into Minecraft recently.
Well, I decided to take on a big project, and usually like I vary what I'm doing. But then this I with something like this, I'm like, unless I'm doing it every day, it's not gonna get done. So like it's this massive castle project. I don't know. I've heard people say it's gonna take 3 months to do. Some people, I don't know. I guess it depends on how much time I put into it per day.
Right.
So at least for the next month or two, I'm gonna be spamming that. It's been like really rewarding to like put something like that together. So
Cool. We look forward to seeing the end of it. And if you guys are interested, it's
me too.
twitch.tv/PrincessPashley. What's your schedule normally, Pash?
Whenever I'm not tired.
Works
But
for
no,
me.
like for sure Fridays and Saturdays, and every other Tuesday for my own podcast.
Yes, which is
Conversational Lubricant with Tiger and Mr. Scoot, and it's debauchery, unorganized chaos. It's the most fun I have like every other week. It's anyway.
I still think you need to publish that one, but we'll get to that.
What?
Edward is
I just
missing a D.
scheduled it.
Gotcha. I knew it looked weird. Thank you, Dorino. Dorino, let's check in with you, sir. How have you been? I know you were. I'm sure you've been busy. So what's going on?
Yes, but not with normal stuff. This week actually has been really not good. And I'll try not to depress anybody, but one of my projects, the audio drama, at least the one that I have yet to record lines for, is being put on indefinite hold for now. Because the people that do it are a husband and a wife, and they just posted in their Discord last week that they were finally going on vacation after like 5 years or something like that of not having done anything. And so, you know, everyone was really happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, a few days after, the husband ended up passing away. So
no.
very unfortunate timing, and my heart goes out to them because that's the worst. I don't know too much about them personally, but all the interactions that I've had with them have been relatively pleasant. So I'm very sorry to the lady that runs it, and I do wish her the best, and I hope that nothing but good things come to her. On top of that, we have a friend, Meg and I, her dad ended up unexpectedly passing away as well.
Oh no.
So we had to go, you know, right after work, you know, we drove up there real quick, you know, just to be there for her and support her and, you know, do what we could. So she's been dealing with that, and I don't know, like it's not really anything I'm involved with personally, but you know, like that kind of stuff takes a toll on you mentally, you know, like it's very stressful, because all you want to do is, you know, be there for those people and do your best to help them out. And that really has kind of just made the rest of the week not so pleasant. I was putting off doing auditions for a while because I just couldn't get out of this like negative space. And then I went into the booth last night thinking I was good to go. I did my warm-ups, and then once I finally did it, I was not. The few auditions that I did, I wasn't really satisfied with any of them. So I'm going to listen to them later on tonight just to see if I want to submit them or not.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to retry them if I'm not going to submit them, but yeah, I was just like, I stepped out of the booth and I felt like drained almost, and not because it was like 100 degrees in there, but also just the fact that I was just like, I'm not putting forth my best effort, and I'm not happy with it. So yeah, so all of that garbage aside, I've been playing the absolute hell out of Stardew Valley.
There's the positive.
Yeah, well, I have it on Switch, and me and my girlfriend have been playing it there. And then I just like the Switch has its quirks, and I don't really like playing on split screen, so I just got it for PC for her because I'd already had it, and I totally forgot that I did, and so I just got it for her, and then we were playing a little bit before the podcast. So
Wow.
similarly to Pashley's Minecraft addiction, that's probably going to be my my new thing for a little while. So
Your vice for a while. Yay. It's funny because you are making fun of Pashley for playing Minecraft, and yet here you are playing Stardew. So good on you, sir.
Yep.
Well, as Burnham said in chat, it's Orange. You glad? Welcome in. You are Renora today.
Yes.
Yeah. How has your week been, sir? On the other side of the city.
It was on the other side of the city. Well, actually, since Renara's not here, I thought I'd do this the entire podcast, but that, that's just not nice. So, so I'm not going to do that. Last Sunday I did a Pride event. Here they did a Pride. They didn't really do a parade this year. We had this march thing instead, but they also did a family event at this campus out in Spring Valley, and so I went down there for 2 hours, paid gig, and all I did was make balloons. I didn't have time to do anything else. As soon as people saw my balloon bag, they were like, balloons. So, and that led into a week of where I was the only QA person on the job that I'm working on, and the other one is taking a well-needed vacation. So, it's not a problem. We all knew this was going to happen. It was just because the way the schedule fell like 2 weeks ahead of her vacation. We're like, well, this is going to suck. But so I've been really busy work-wise. Did go out, did have New Wave over. We watched Perry Mason for an evening.
Yeah.
And then Friday I went out for some karaoke. First time since the pandemic.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And I was rather happy I got a bunch of people to dance.
Nice.
With what song? I'm curious.
Yo viviré. Mi voz puede volar, puede atravesar cualquier herida, cualquier tiempo, cualquier soledad. Yeah. And so yeah, there are a bunch of people there that were like, "Oh, salsa, we do this." So, so that was my week.
Good.
Nice.
Well, glad that you're here. Thank you for stepping in and saying yes to guest hosting duties. Always appreciated. So my week was interesting. On Tuesday, I did Gloop Dog's. All of a sudden, I forget Foreplay, which was episode 6. And I ended up victorious at it, so super happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to on Gloop Dog's channel. That's what Pashley did. What was it? Last Sunday, I think it was, Pash, or the Sunday before.
I think it was the 11th. So whatever.
Right,
so
because you were out the one before. Yeah. So
yeah.
So that was a ton of fun being able to sing again and being on there. As far as work-wise has been, I did some lines for Luke. So for the audio drama, I did 3 different projects, sent that in. They all got accepted. Super happy about that. No retakes. I got retakes for my big project for the text-to-speech stuff from voices.com. This is the first I've heard from them since I submitted everything a couple weeks back. I'm assuming this is a good sign. That means that they haven't needed anything else except for like these couple of lines that for some reason weren't in the original shipment.
No.
Yeah. So far so good, because that's really my first like huge project that I get to look at. And then yesterday, I went outside.
Oh, you did what?
I know, right? So it was a coming of age celebration for my youngest daughter. So we were at filming that for a future thing, and then we actually went to like Deanza Cove, and Orange will know what that is. Basically, it's a big salty like lake. It's still part of the ocean, but it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to hang out with everybody. It's weird to be outside. It's weird not to be masked around people. So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Enough about me though. Edward Saba, hello. So Edward, just to verify, are we good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you perfectly. Nice
Yay!
hat.
Welcome, thank you. So let's meet Edward. Edward, let's let you introduce yourself first.
Okay, well, my name is Edward Saba. I am a writer, voice actor, and YouTuber for about like 6-7 years right now. I've been voice acting for at least since late 2018 or so, I would believe. So about 3-4 years ago, if I'm doing my math right.
Okay. So what initially got you into the whole? Because you started your YouTube first, and then you went into voice acting, correct?
Oh yeah, I was a YouTuber. I'm straightforward the entire way before I got into voice acting. I got into voice acting by
Uh-oh.
doing since I write, I always do a lot of writing story, and I brought into a comic, which I still do to this day. And I was having it dubbed, and I was having like hiring voice actors to do it. I had voice actors come in, audition for characters and all that. And then I started to believe like maybe one day I should do it, one day maybe. And my parents were like saying, yes, maybe you should do that. We can definitely hear you doing stuff like that, because they always said when I was younger, I always imitated people's voices, and I made stories, and I'm making voices with my toys and all that on nonstop. So once I started, like, maybe I could. So then, once I started getting into it, of course, without any like bumps in the road, I had to get like a microphone, Blue Yeti. That was my first one.
Okay.
I still have it.
Okay.
And once I got started into voice acting, I started doing like impressions and stuff, but that was like my first go thing. I was doing impressions of Silver the Hedgehog, and then I got more into voice acting once I started like looking around for like casting call club, and it was like a little crisscrossy rope. I didn't know where to go and where everything. Right now, I know where I want to go. Right I am right now, but back then it was a little bit bumpy. But I know where I want to be, and I'm glad to be a voice actor right now. I couldn't be happier what I'm doing, because doing voice acting is like not my dream job, because I want to be a writer, but it's something I would love doing as like a side hobby.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, in the experience in voice acting certainly helps. I find like I too am a writer, and I find that being a voice actor really helps, because then you can kind of get a better idea of exactly what you want a voice for a character to sound like. So it's definitely a good tool to have in your belt.
Oh yeah, big time. Every time I write stories for my fan page, a lot of my stories are on my YouTube channel, by the way, Mario Kart Gamer Dude. Go and subscribe. I write a lot of fan pits of like Mario and Sonic, and also other gaming franchises and animated and cartoon franchises, like a lot. A lot of my fan comments are like them crossing over a lot, so it gets like a lot of praise. So I always had like fun to write them all together. So whenever I'm doing them and reading the lines aloud, I say how the lines are. I have it all set up in my head, and whenever people ask me, how do you want me to dub it? Like, oh, let's dub it like this. Like, are you sure? Yeah, I know, because I know how I say it, because I say it out loud in my mind. I got a really, really big, wide imagination.
Nice. So you've been doing that for a couple of years, and then you decided to actually jump in. So you said your first one was the Blue Yeti, correct?
Oh yeah, my first one was a Blue Yeti. Right now I'm using a AKG P420 microphone right now.
I can't say that I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's similar to what. Well, that's what I use, a P220, I think. Yeah, so you probably have like the next in line.
Is that the AK? The AKP?
The AKG, yeah. They're
Okay,
I think they're really nice. I think they're built mostly for like music recording, but I mean for voice acting, if you know how to treat it correctly, then it works just as well.
Nice.
Oh yeah, my parents got me this for my for Christmas. I bought my Blue Yeti on my own, but for this, they surprised me with it. But I've been trying to tell them that I need to upgrade, because my Blue Yeti, even though I love it, I still need to upgrade it to get better with auditions and all that. And I've been trying to save up, couldn't save up, and then they got it for me for Christmas. Like, oh my God, thank you. So I thank you for that. They're very supportive about me being a voice actor.
Awesome. That must be great. Now you also mentioned that you're actually set up in a booth right now.
Yes, I am right now. Yeah.
Okay. So what did it take for you to get to that particular point?
Before, when I was using my Blue Yeti, I was actually just standing in my basement in my wide open space, just talking like that. And for some reason, I always had the belief that everything it sounded fine. It was nothing wrong with it. I was gonna stay like this for the rest of my life or anything like that. But then people said, no, dude, having it like that is bad because the I forget what it's called. I think they said, oh yeah, reverb was like the bad part of what is going on, the echoing of everything. It sounded very loud, and I'm like, so where do I do? Where am I supposed to go? Where else would I go? And then there's a small closet in my basement, so they said, okay, let's go in there, and I did, but then I still needed to upgrade it, like put blankets around the Blue Yeti, which I did, and around that time it was okay, but then a lot of people were saying sooner or later I gotta upgrade it because I still hear bad things. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? I can't like buy a big giant booth or build one. It will take too much time and money.
Right.
So then once I got the AKG P420 mic, my parents helped me get some heavy blankets to pin to each of the walls and to the ceiling of the wall and then to the door as well. So now I'm here now I have everything here. I have the heavy blankets everywhere, pinned to the wall, not to the mic, and this is basically my booth right now.
Nice. So I mean, definitely always, because the sound quality when you're turning something in is something we always advocate as being top notch. So yeah, going from a reverb, because everybody's heard my first ones, which was super tinny. The reverb was there, and it's exactly that issue. My room was not treated, especially not the way that it is now. So yeah, heavy blankets, of course, up against the walls. Eldurrino, you have a PVC booth, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, mine was, in the grand scheme of things, when you're first getting started, it certainly seems like a detriment, like monetary wise, but I mean, it's something that's going to last me until I want to upgrade to the next step. So, I mean, $300 invested in a career that I could make that money back in the course of a year. I say that's worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, I started out with the same thing. I started off in a closet that was surrounded by like clothes and blankets, and I just like threw a blanket over my head essentially, and but then claustrophobia kicked in, so
and then you end up upgrading basically, because I'll move this camera over. I've got the what I call the TARDIS, which is my actual booth inside. Yeah, which is the actual MDM boards with the speaker wiring and I mean the speaker carpet. And then the sound inside. So really good, considering I'm next to a road, and half the time my audio is actually pretty okay. And then I got plenty of dogs that make noise, so that does help with that particular one. So,
and I know it makes absolutely no sense, but in this case, it's okay to be completely baffled.
Yeah. So Edward, so at what point did you decide to do your demo? Because we've heard your demo here before.
Actually I had like two. The first one was like when I had my Blue Yeti and I was still using the outdoor space, so that was okay, but still bad. But the second one, I knew I had to upgrade my thing, because once I got the AKG P420 mic, I knew I had to get a new demo in, because having a demo with this, it would sound okay. So then I looked around to see like who could I contact to get into a script. I never done that, but never done a thing or have a demo script writer and everything. So I look around for people to help, and some people recommended me to SCOVA for mixing. She's very great at doing demo mixing, so I went to her to do that. But I still need a demo script, so I had Chase Beck. He wrote my script, very good script, and once I did a script, I got it. Then I did a demo. She did it up, and then I had it out. I will say this was like my first professional-ish demo, I would suppose. When I did, like, wow, this is like very top tier, to be honest. So I'm like, okay, let me hope I can do it right. So then I did it, and to be honest, it's okay right now. I'm using that for now. I'm in the process of getting a video game demo reel hopefully soon, but nice. I was supposed to actually do it yesterday, but I kind of sadly missed up the times, unfortunately, so I had to tell the director I'm working with, and then she just rescheduled me for later in August, unfortunately, but it was my fault. But regardless, I'm getting a new demo soon, hopefully.
And time is at a premium, of course. And then we found you, of course, on Twitter. And out of curiosity, how did you find out that we listened to your demo? Because I was terrible and didn't get back to you.
other user, her ad name is Shaky Ardun. I'm actually looking it up right now.
No problem.
Our DM capo. It was Shaky Seasons of Skyward Serendipity. Shake ad Shakira Dunn. Yeah, she told me that
That we took a
reviewed her
listen to it?
demo, gave me critique, and then she's sent me a link of where she was talking to you about that. So that's why.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, from the tweet that I saw, you absorbed our feedback. How did that go for you? Because I know. Let me tell you before. Let me qualify this question by saying taking feedback has always been the hardest thing when it comes to voice acting. I think all of us here can definitely agree to that.
Oh yeah. It was by the way, it wasn't Shaky Run. It was a girl named Crystal Martinez.
Oh, we know Chris. Yeah, Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the other ones that we heard.
Yeah, it was her. I'm like, oh, they reviewed my thing. When I hear someone actually review my thing and they reviewed it in a podcast, I'm like, oh my god, I feel so special. So I'm like, oh my god, how am I getting reviewed by people? I'm like, so low. How am I being reviewed? So I go over to watch it. I have it listening while I'm driving in my car. So I'm listening to it like, oh, okay, okay. And of course, let's be honest. Every time you get a critique, you don't like actually getting a critique. You want to hear a good thing. And even though constructive criticism is okay, let's be honest. We all get a little.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We do too.
Yeah, of course. So it's nothing personal. I knew it wouldn't reflect on me as an actor, of course. So of course I was a little bummed by hearing that, especially since it went on for like a while. Like, okay, I get it, but it was okay. I was okay about it. I didn't take it personally.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And I know basically again from looking at your tweets that you were having a bit of a hard week. I think, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a hard week. I'm hard for a while when it came to relate to voice acting because, excuse me, in the last couple of months, I was really down when it came to voice acting. I barely, of course, booked anything. I either couldn't audition a lot or I auditioned a lot and nothing, and nothing improved. I was like in a standstill again, and it's very common for me, but it happens a lot to me, to be honest, because I feel like I'm not improving enough. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing okay as a VA. What am I even still doing here? What am I doing wrong? So around like May, I was like, I can't do this anymore because my mental state was like bad. If I continue doing this, I'm not gonna function right anymore. So around that time, I was about to quit, but then I got notifications from one of my people saying that I got not an agent, I'm a one person from Casting Call Club saying I got the audiobook role for an audio drama kind of thing. I'm like, an audiobook role, really? So like, and what I'm gonna be on YouTube, whatever. So like, no, Spotify. I'm like, oh. Then they said I'll be getting an IDMB credit. Like, IDMB credit? What? And I'm like, oh, okay. So like, wow, that was like mind blowing. So and then in the same week, I got an indie game role for something that was still very early in development, but I got the main character role. I'm like, oh, okay. So many things that happen in the same week, and I'm like, okay, maybe I shouldn't stop doing this because I'm getting all this. But then, of course, a lot on our part of me saying like, and what if I just quit right now and then no more? Like this is a little something, then nothing more happen again. I'm like, yeah, that could be true. But then just 2 days ago, I got my first original animation role as an actor in a series. I might be on like YouTube, I think. So like that's another thing I got. I'm like, wow. So yeah. I mean, of course, this position is not invulnerable. We're all gonna get like dry spells. We're all gonna get like, oh man, what am I still doing here? Am I doing well? What am I not doing right? So it'll keep happening to me, to be honest. But I'm hoping to not let it get to me as much, because a lot of my voice actor friends keep telling me, if I quit, I'll do more damage to myself than I would be doing. Being a voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I am definitely no stranger to having like dry spells or just massive slumps that it's really hard to get myself out of. And really, the best advice that I can give to you is anything that you create, share it with anyone you can possibly think of. I'm talking friends, family, your neighbors, their pets, whoever, like just even that small little amount of validation is going to help generate like determination, essentially. Like I know that I certainly would not have gotten into the position that I am now had I not talked about this with my now girlfriend. She was definitely a big driving force for me to get into this, because I struggle with self-esteem and anxiety and depression and yada yada. And she, told me, like, you have a really good voice for this. I could see you doing this. And she comes from an acting background and such. So, just even one person saying you are good enough to do this, you should keep going at it. It will help immensely. So don't ever, like, even if you don't see yourself doing this full time, don't ever give up on it, because it's something that you can use later on down the road in case an opportunity like that comes up. Like, say you're offered another role, even if it's a small part, you still have that in your repertoire.
Yeah, totally. And another thing that comes up is like for me, I can never really go further in improving a lot, because I can't really take a lot of classes. I can't take a lot of workshops because money is always very tight, not very enough. I'm always missing out on that. So that's also something that always comes to me and damages me a little bit. Like, how am I going to be able to get better? How am I going to be able to get into people's ears and like, oh, I like the guy's voice. Hopefully I might keep it in mind without improving enough. So I'm always in a standstill when that happens. And whenever I'm even able to pay for it, I always miss out. Like, how am I going to be able to do that if I can't get into that? So that's also another thing that I always struggle to make sure I attend at least one to improve on myself, because there are some things I need to improve on. Like, I still talk fast a lot. I still need to figure out how to maintain speed, or which I do manage to do once I get into the script a little bit. But over time, I still needed to stop with the stuttering and slowing down and enunciating a lot better.
Gotcha. And that's one thing that we've always said, is that if you can't take classes and you can't get the coaching, because we talked to Walter last week, who gave us a really good spiel about coaching. But if you can't do that, there are books available. I know, Pashley, you just recommended a book to me not too long ago, and I know you're going to start looking for it. And I countered with one, so let's.
You countered me. Let me just see. No, I know, I do remember, but this is like, I was on the train. Yeah, it was the voiceover actors handbook, how to analyze, interpret, blah, 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 dot.
Right. So, I mean, I heard it on the audiobook. The audiobook is absolutely awesome. And it's good to go back every now and then to hear it, because they talk about everything. So if you don't have a chance to do the classes, 100%, try to make sure to at least learn in some way or another, or keep the practice going, because that's how you're absolutely going to improve.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but there are certainly like little smaller classes that you can usually find for fairly cheap. For instance, one of the first ones that I looked into was off of Udemy, and over Christmas they had a class that was normally like $200 for $5, and so I jumped on that right away, and it's like probably about like 10 to 12 hours worth of material that covers so much, starting from the most basic portion to creating your demo reel to hiring an agent. Like, you can certainly find that stuff out there. You just need to look around. And personally, I know, like, because I do follow you on Twitter, I know you do have a pretty good like, you have good networking capabilities. I mean, I do see you talking to other voice actors a lot, so utilize that. Like, if you want to find some smaller classes, see if you can squeeze into an extra spot for cheap. talk around to people that you know that either are hosting the classes, might be part of it, or just generally know about it. Because I mean, everyone in this industry wants to help everybody. Competition is fun, So like, definitely rely on everyone else in this community and see if there's other classes that you can take, especially if they're on discount. Always check around like Black Friday, Christmas, the bigger holidays, and you'll usually find something.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm very good at networking. Like, I'm always DMing voice actors saying, "Hi, what's up? Whenever if I follow them or they follow me, I always make sure I get in contact with them, yada yada. And I also sometimes I DM indie game developers in the case they are looking for, or I'm possibly gonna be offering any. That way I can get into their heads or whatever. That way, if possibly I can audition for their stuff or maybe connect with others to showcase my stuff around. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's absolutely good. So, Edward, I'm curious, if you could go back and talk to yourself when you were first starting your VO journey, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself, make sure you drink a lot of water, for one thing, because I never drink a lot of water while I was drinking that. And I would tell myself to listen to your friend's advice, overthink any situation. Try to get out of your own head. Don't get out of your own head, because it's like one voice actor told me a long time ago. For every voice, there's a role for it out there. No matter how big and small, your voice is going to be for something. It may not be for a big one, but it will be for something. And that is good enough for anyone, because even if it's something small, like when I was interviewing a lot of voice actors, whenever I said, if you got to do an anime, what would it be? Would it matter how big or small? Like, heck no. If I'm in an anime, I'm in an anime. So if I'm the random garbage man who says, hi, that's fine. That's fine by me, because it's something better than nothing. And right. I would also say, never stop yourself on the path, because even if will take forever, because right now it's still a little slow at the moment, but regardless, no matter how slow, it will happen eventually. Because if I told myself back then that I would be on Spotify or possibly in an audiobook and in animation series and any game, hopefully, I'll be like, I don't believe you. I wouldn't believe myself, actually. So,
right. So that would be tough on that part. Well, that's good. Absolutely good. Any questions for our guests from the panel?
I did have one, and now I can't seem to remember what it is. So we'll just make up one right off the top of my head. What is your favorite pizza topping?
What? My favorite pizza topping, aside from plain cheese, I would go for buffalo chicken pizza.
Ooh. All right. Okay. Well, that's a nice little version.
I respect that.
I can respect
that. Oh yeah. I always go for that whenever I get that from either Carluccio's or South End Pizza.
Okay. Nice.
So I know my question to you, Edward, was going to be in regards to, because you're really good at networking. How would you recommend somebody starting out to go down that journey? How do you take your first step?
I would say for them to first find your footing, find out where you want to go with that. Do you want to just do that as a side hobby? Do you want to just do it for fun of your own thing, or do you want to go and do auditions for a lot of things? Figure out what you want to do, because I know a lot of voice actors who just do it for their own thing and not go audition for stuff. And then I would also say to them, if you want to do it for anything, just go find a good appropriate mic, look up some details to do it. Find some also acting things, because for me, I just managed to practice in acting, but if you don't know how to act, you won't really sound right, because before I always sounded like I was reading off a piece of paper, and that was bad. So get some acting skills in, train a little bit, and with friends and family like I did. That's how I was able to do it. And And if you manage to find your footing, and if you manage to get like a mic and everything, then I will say Godspeed, good luck to you, and make sure you know what to do because I've had a lot of voice actor people who come to me saying, "Oh, I want to do this professionally." Like, are you? I wouldn't recommend doing that right off the bat. Don't do that. Because I've seen so many say they quit their job immediately and then just go straight into voice acting because I have a good wait, I can do it. I'm like, no, don't do that right now. Even professional voice have also side jobs, and those who are professional have like I don't know like in infinite roles that they can always rely on. So I don't know from their perspective. I don't know anyone personally who is professional yet, but still, I wouldn't recommend going professional at all until you know your footing. Even the top tier VAs, like I know some Fire Emblem voice actors who have side also have jobs. Like the voice of Dimitri says that he's a voice actor, but he also has a job.
Mhm.
So don't go into professional voice acting unless you're very very sure that you can rely all your money and everything on that because voice acting, like I said, you get like once a role a lot, like one role, maybe even two if you're lucky, but still, you never know.
Yeah.
Competition is really tough in the voice acting world because for like every role you've got 500 to like 1,000 people vying for it, especially the big top ones. So for sure, we've always been big proponents on this podcast to say, make sure you can pay your bills, do this on the side, and once you're comfortable enough to handle your bills with something else going on, then you can go head on. But until then, keep practicing, keep doing this as a hobby. I see Pashley shaking her head because I know this. We've had this conversation.
Had this so many times. So many times.
Yeah.
When my dad would used to tell me, "Oh, you're so good at this, you should do this," and I'm like, "Yes, Dad, I am very good at this," and so are about 5 million other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
But you can still do it part-time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, this fills my, like doing the streaming thing fills my bucket, but I feel more relaxed as a streamer knowing like I don't have to worry about, the financial stuff,
Right.
like I can just say stupid shit like can we program a toilet for my poop drop thing in my stream? Like shit like that. I feel like the creative juices flow, forgive the phrase.
Oh, you're fine.
The drop command. Okay, I was really confused by what you were
I do
saying
a drop
there.
thing, and where the emote will drop from the top of the screen and
the
land on a
parachute game.
thing.
Uh-huh.
The parachute game would be brilliant if there was a toilet at the bottom of the stream, so you can get the rainbow poop in the toilet. Genius. Anyway,
Dorino's getting really good at programming games. Maybe you two can get together and figure this out.
bro.
Not only that, but can we get a quick shout out for Squatty Potty? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Inspired by.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No, and I mean you're absolutely right. Like you don't want to put your eggs all in one basket. Like you should do this because it's fun, and then the same thing goes with anything really in the entertainment industry. You start out because you enjoy doing it. Like nobody wants to do a job that they absolutely resent, but at the same time, because it is such a competitive and sometimes cutthroat industry, it's not reliable. So yeah, you definitely want to keep a full-time job, for the most part, until you start getting enough gigs in which you don't really need that anymore. Like, especially if you have a really good agent who will go out and find roles for you, that can certainly help out a lot. And then that way, if you're getting, 10, 20, 30 gigs every month, you don't really need to worry about having a full-time job because it then becomes your full-time job.
Definitely.
Yeah, and there's always that stress because once you turn this into your main profession and things don't start working out well, then your product suffers. You can hear the stress, you can hear the desperation, and and that will generally hurt you in the long run. So yeah, once you're comfortable, then by all means. I mean, I'm waiting for 8 more years when I retire. Yes, I'm that old. Thank you, Pashley. I will be able to do this full time and actually move into, I consider myself a professional. I consider most everybody else in this room a professional. We're not experts, but we in one way or another, we've been paid for vocal production, which means that we are pro. We can keep moving forward once we can meet our bottom line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Edward, it's always so nice to hear somebody who's really starting out in the career. I'm glad that things are looking up for you. I'm glad you didn't give up. I know I saw that tweet. I got a little worried because your demo really did sound good. It's just those little minor things that we had in mind, and I'm so glad to see that you're taking off and you're starting to get those parts.
Right. And,
Yeah,
and
thank
of
you.
course, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna think. No, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, like, don't like our criticisms are meant to be constructive, and of course, they are simply our opinions on the matter. So take it with a grain of salt. It is not like an end all be all. You can choose to take our advice. You don't have to if you really don't want to. Like it's meant to be there so that you have something to reflect on. So again, if you want to, review it and apply it to your future projects, that would be awesome in our opinion. But of course, you don't have to. Like we're just a bunch of goofballs that host a show about voice acting. So again, yeah, do what you wish, man.
One that
as
wears
long
a
as you're
silly
having
hat.
success.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
But thank you so much for being on here. So you've got some projects coming up. Anything that you want to plug at the moment? I put up your YouTube earlier, and I'll make sure that it's in the description for the podcast.
Yeah. Right now I'm just doing I'm trying to get some more comment dubs out of the way. I'm waiting for my artist to start drawing all the comments and stuff. You can look up all my comments on my channel because there's plenty of them. I'm pretty much sure they're like the top one of the most viewed, so you can find them on there. And aside from that, there's nothing else I have planned. Like I said, it's been slow, so I just keep going with trying to find auditions and also just start working on that animation thing. Because remember, that's my first time thing, so I want to make sure I'm doing all right. But it's my first time, so nervous, but I'll do my best.
Good. When you go for auditions, where do you go? Do you go to Twitter? Do you go to CCC? Where are you trying to get most of your job from right now?
Mostly all the auditions I find are mainly on Twitter. I go casting calls like a few times just to find like one if I can't find any on Twitter. But mainly all of them are on Twitter, and just once in a blue moon I go to casting call club.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, very cool. So you said Yo Eddie Magmorta. I looked over because that's my real name. So I was like, what? In the meantime, we do have a backup topic. So this kind of goes with Pashley's Castle.
Taco?
Yeah, topic.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. Let me bring that up while we're vamping here. This would kind of fit in with one of your Pashley's Castle.
Yay.
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 So we were.
This is why I love the Brits, because they say things like, "Yes, I've always heard about the taco, and I've always wondered what that's like." Is the taco? Like, oh god.
So I was looking through Reddit and make sure to see what was happening just to the voice acting or r/voice acting, and we came up with this particular article. I'll link it in chat here in just a moment. Hi, I was recently working with my partner to create a video game for Game Jam, which is making a game a very tight time limit. Spent the last 5 days recording dialogue while screaming in a raspy voice, and as a result, my throat is shot. Any advice for taking care of myself after or during intense sessions? Hey, Edward.
Hey, there we go.
There we go. You still with us? Can you hear us?
Sorry about that. I was waiting for you guys to get ready for the thing. I didn't want to interrupt you guys or anything.
No worries.
No, you're good.
All right, we'll come back to this in just a moment. So, Edward, hello and welcome. Can you hear us?
Do you guys do the intro already, or?
Yeah, we're up to you.
Well,
no, could be a delay. I don't know. Unless you're picking us up from the stream and not listening to us from the actual podcast. Eldurrino, you want to pull him over into another room and see if we can figure out the audio stuff?
yeah, give me a sec here.
Yeah. Cameras are going to get a little funky, so apologize. Pashley and Orange switch spots. Welcome, welcome. So let's talk about our throats, because our throats is always something that's huge when it comes to long sessions and everything else. So Pashley, I'm gonna try to see if I can do a backup scene real quick to fix you while we do this.
It's no big deal either way, but we you know me, I'll just talk your head off until.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Well, Orange can jump in too here because, you know, he has lots to offer. So like the top tier right here for like vocal care is vocal rest, because your body knows how to repair itself. And so number one right there, don't use it anymore. As Orange You Glad said before we started the podcast, he just shuts up as soon as it's ready to go. So that leads into like, you know, knowing your limits, you know, if you and being organized with your time, you know, only record 3 hours a day. You know, when musical theater companies are rehearsing, they're not doing more than 3 to 4 hours a day, mostly. You know, so like this horse shit you heard from the Les Miserables movie set, like, oh, we sang for 8 hours a day, and I'm like, yeah, great, good for you. How is your voice doing? And but certainly the second thing to be doing is constantly hydrating. Now, you're not getting directly hydrated in the moment. You don't want water going onto your vocal folds. That's insanity. That's going to end up in your lungs. We get secondary drowning. No good. But like if you're kind of preloading your water too, even before your session, so it gets a time to be in your body and moisturizing your membranes, so to speak. That is second most important, right? But if you find yourself up,
keep going.
Are we back?
No.
Okay. If you find yourself in a situation where you have lost your voice and you need to maybe re-jump it, you know, put the jumper cables on the battery, using anything with like slippery elm. So, you know, throat coat. I could not recommend throat coat anymore. And I think even doing that as part of your hygiene routine with your voice, like an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Gotcha.
So doing that as well.
I love throat coat. Like
Throat coat is the best.
you recommended it to me. And then I was doing a part and I thought like I just strained my voice too much one time, but in actuality I just ended up getting like a cold and my throat was just killing me. But yeah, I was drinking that like 2-3 times a day for about 3 days, and it was amazing, and it allowed me to get back into the booth a lot quicker. So yeah, and cannot recommend that stuff enough.
Like usually, and also here's something very, very kind of counterintuitive. Using your voice in a safe way, using semi-occlusive exercises, meaning exercises that don't bring your cords fully together. They just kind of vibrate like this. Huge in your healing with your voice. The only time that you should go on full vocal rest is when you cannot phonate at all. And by phonate, I mean create a sound from your throat. Like when you're like this, blah, blah. Nope, shut it down. So
that's what I do naturally, though, Pashley.
Oh shit.
Well,
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Yeah, as people have said on this podcast before, if it hurts, stop.
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
If it is hurting, stop immediately. Don't do it. And the thing with a lot of the slippery elm stuff that you got to watch is all the reviews that I remember reading on like throat coat saying, "Oh, this stuff is amazing. It coats your vocal cords." No, it really doesn't do that. Stop. Oh, learn
not what happens.
Basic
Same thing with
anatomy
honey.
for crying out loud.
Yeah.
We're just gonna go right under the epiglottis and coat your vocal cords. No, you're not gonna do that. So.
So the magic of throat coat had just come up, which is, you know, I've actually never tried throat coat, to be honest. I know it's got a slimy consistency that scares me.
Not
like
really.
Tea.
Yeah.
It's like what?
It just tastes. It's like drinking tea, like, you know, tea Earl Grey.
It's very like licorice tasting.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if you don't like licorice, then you might be off-put by it. But I usually mix it with like honey as well.
Sorry guys.
Consistency.
No worries. Welcome back.
Hello?
Hi. Can you hear us?
Yeah, are you able to hear us?
Hello?
That's a no.
Hang on.
How about now?
Still there? Bro.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hi, Edward. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Okay, we'll take that as a no.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
All right.
All right.
Hello.
Hang on.
Hello.
I'll be back.
Bye, Eldurrino. Okay. So this, I mean, one of the magics of being live, obviously I'll be able to edit this out on YouTube. But as we're all sitting here and we have to work. So we've heard of the Gollum juice. Gollum juice is something that Phantom has brought up, and that's the water, honey, lemon, I believe it is. I have to look this up now.
Yeah, let's all take to Google.
To Google for this one. So,
what is Gollum juice?
So the gentleman who did the voice of Gollum for Lord of the Rings, because he
yeah.
he had a very particular.
You mean Andy Serkis?
Yes, Andy Serkis. Thank you so much.
I will strike you dead where you are wearing the freaking Lord of the Rings.
I'm sorry. I'm allowed to have a bit of a brain fart from time to time.
Being as old as you are.
I know, because we started the transition of Gollum juicing because Pashley was making fun of me because I couldn't remember Andy Serkis's name. Burnham earlier said ginger is part of it, so you're 100%. So it is honey, lemon, and ginger, and it says fruit teas and stuff. So
shit.
Yeah, and shit. I, for one, have never been able to because I actually have an allergy to honey, so that's always an interesting one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me sad.
I don't know what I'm missing, so it's okay. Other than
good.
when I was younger, but I haven't tried it in 30 years, and I don't want to. You never know what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, like the throat coat or throat support, whatever you have around you, I recommend it highly. Like I said, as long as you are okay with the taste of licorice, then it'll do wonders for you.
Mm-hmm. I know Orange, you mentioned earlier, just don't use your voice. Any other recommendations for I know you said you've never tired it out, but I'm sure you can imagine what it's like, or maybe even having a sore throat. I mean, that's important because we can't always stay 100% healthy. Any recommendations?
Just mostly rest. I mean, when I had laryngitis, I just had to not talk, because I didn't want to drag the inflammation out. At one point, I was doing a stage production. It was an equity stage production. So I had 2 shows to do and I had almost no voice left. And we actually spend time switching out, who got to say what. So they divvied up the rest of my lines just so the one scene where they absolutely had me had to have me because nobody else could do those lines. I did, but everybody else, all the rest of the lines that I had were given to other people just so I wouldn't have to project or use it. And then when I went home, I said nothing and did nothing.
Did you do a little chalkboard with the chalk thing, or?
Not quite, but I had a pad.
Nice. Pashley, as our vocal expert, any other tips for if you're feeling under the weather, if you're feeling sick?
And on top, like I said before, on top of the rest, unless you cannot phonate, I didn't really get to explain what semi-occluded exercises are, but that means you're humming, lip trills. Those are your 2 go-tos, and don't go too high in your range. Kind of stay where you're speaking, so to speak, and then continue up or down as is comfortable, and don't do it more than half an hour a day when you're sick.
I like that. That's a very good point. And I know Eldurrino would always appreciate staying hydrated ahead of time.
As I drink my coffee.
As you drink your coffee.
Listen, I love coffee as well. So, but yeah, just as long as you follow it up with water, it's very, very important in every aspect, including just existing. So drink water.
Well, and it's funny because one of the rules now that was recommended for me from the book that we talked about is that you never reject water. If somebody offers you water, you will take it and you will drink it, and that way you will absolutely stay hydrated throughout your time. So something definitely to keep in mind.
We talk.
Any tips from your side, Edward? I'm super curious.
My throat almost gave out once when I was doing vocal warm-ups for my own self. So I want to say again, get rest, because I couldn't talk. I was like that the entire time talking. I was choking. So I said, get some rest and drink a lot of water and something hot because it helps with your soothe the throat. Like you said, like tea or whatever. Even though I hate tea, I had to drink it.
Yeah, it's always sound advice. So again, thank you so much, Edward. EdwardsabaVO. You can find him on Twitter. We're linking the YouTube channel either here live on YouTube or on the podcast. For anybody else, if you have a topic, if you have an audition that you want us to listen to, or if you have a guest in mind, or if you want to be a guest on, you can email us at coldreadthepodcast@gmail.com. Eldurrino is also very open. You can tweet any of us, and it'll go to the right spot, and we'll get you all set up. We've got a couple of very interesting new also voice actors that are coming on. We've got Crystal at one point in the future, and then we found somebody else, which the name escapes me at the moment. I apologize.
His name is Jeff. He's actually a much more experienced voice actor, so I'm very interested to see what he's got to say.
Awesome.
He's got an entire website. He's got all his works listed on there. I'm super stoked.
Hey, very cool. Next week, I think it's my turn to do the intro, so I'll be reaching out if I need help to everybody. I promise it not to be a parody this time.
I thought it was fantastic. So, and I just watched Inside, so I was like thinking about your song as I was going on. I was like dancing along.
Oh, you guys, I love watching that because I love watching your reactions to it because it picks up my day. So thank you so much for that. Until then, thank you so much, everybody. Keep up those auditions. Keep up putting yourself out there. Super important. Don't be afraid. Like Edward said, if you start getting yourself down, you start getting that imposter syndrome, keep going. Don't let it get you down. But yeah, until then, I think we are absolutely good, and we'll call that a wrap. Thank you, everybody. Woo. See you next time.
Drink water.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being here. Bye.
No problem.